Greetings! What is up, and a very warm welcome to the channel. The sun is hiding, and the magpie is casting. Coming to you guys right now with a live 1 versus 1 battle, fresh from the top of the ladder. Featuring spawning in the north, it is going to be the Overcommand West pieces of John Vitutus. And spawning in the south, it is going to be the United Kingdom forces of RoyalHants. Yes, the map here is going to be Legalese Breakout, which, I don't know. I feel like me and this map have like a mixed history, you know? I think when I first saw this map, I felt a thrill, a surge of excitement, because it might actually be a winter tile, a winter-looking map that I might like. But having played it now quite a few times, dude, these Storm Pioneers totally are capping this point, by the way. But okay. Having played this map quite a few times now, I don't know, I'm kind of, I don't know, it's just a really tough map. I used to really like playing this map with OKW, because you could get your Battle Gripper HQ all set up at the front here, and then start, you know, making use of all this kind of like pretty dense cover and all these buildings and stuff like that. But, you know, since they've changed the Battle Gripper HQ so you don't get medics and stuff like that, I don't know, I just have a really hard time sinking my teeth into this map as OKW. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how John's going to play this one out. But I don't know. I'm finding it a hard map right now. Also, I think for UKF, this is a map where like mortar pits can actually be really good, as long as you like look after them and don't let your opponents get into like into structures nearby. I don't know. Seems like a good map for the UKF. Looks like we've got double Kugelwagen opening here from John, so already mixing things up a little bit. Nice to see. I think this is a really good map for that. This is one of those maps that's like super wide, so in general, like if your units are mobile and fast and able to capture, then they'll do well, and the Kugelwagen kind of ticks all of those boxes. Also pretty good against Tommies as the Kugelwagen, although taking a fight at this range against Tommies in heavy cover, you know, that's going to be a tough one for the Wagen here, and I do hope John's paying attention, because otherwise he stands to lose his little wagon here. Meanwhile, elsewhere, we've got some Storm Pioneers against 2 squads of Tommies, so John here getting thoroughly outdone in these early engages. These Storm Pioneers need to kind of GTFO. I don't think they're trading very efficiently here. Okay, he's going to get out of there. Volksgrenadier is going to come in here to take up the mantle in this fight, but I mean, like, whoa, I mean, Tommy's in decent cover. Why are you trading here? John, this is not a good, I don't like this at all. Wow, you've got to take it easy there. And now this Kugelwagen's totally on the back foot. Oh no, and with that little bit of, this ought to be a dead Kubel, really. I imagine the Tommies should be able to cut it off here. Here come the shots, and there it goes. And this has kind of been a disastrous opening for John. Let's crack the tack here and see how this map is, how this map's breaking down. So we've lost a Kugelwagen, that's expensive, and you know, anytime you lose any unit this early in the game, you're basically going to be on the back foot for the first 10 or 12 minutes. I mean, that's just how Company of Heroes 2 breaks down. So that's really bad. He lost the early engages out on the map. I mean, he basically managed to lose like 3 Storm Pioneers and 4 Volksgrenadiers for no Tommies to these 2 squads, which is obviously tragic. Just because, you know, if you're feeding your units into 2 of your enemy's units one at a time, especially when those units happen to be Tommies in cover, you know, you can't expect a very efficient fight if you're the Axis in those circumstances. Meanwhile, we've got a Kugelwagen down in the south, taking another fight, ill-advised, at close range against these Tommies. Kind of doing okay because the Tommies are on the wrong side of cover. Looks like they're going to try and reposition here. Not sure I like that from Hans. Probably was going to be better just staying put here. Actually, he's going to get... Oh, I see. He's up to point-blank range now. Oh my god, is he going to lose this Kugelwagen as well? I think he might lose this Kugelwagen as well. And this game, honestly, not looking very good at all for John. Oh my god, he's just lost 2 Kugelwagens. This is a dire state of affairs now for the Axis player. He is up to 3 squads of Volksgrenadiers, and those Volks are in mid right now, grinding and trading as best they can. If we crack the tack briefly, you can see we've got a flanking pair of Tommies, one in west, one in east, just chewing up ground, and enough Tommies for now to be keeping the Axis forces busy here in mid. Those Lee Enfield rifles firing with a high rate of fire in the heavy cover, causing grievous losses, doing a lot of damage. Well, I'm surprised we don't have more veterancy over these units, to be honest. The British units have been kicking ass out here. So, also, to be honest, I'm surprised we don't have a bit more map control out of the UKF player. I don't know how surprised I am, but it seems like it ought to have perhaps a tiny bit more. Anyway, Storm Pioneers, they've reinforced, refreshed, ready for combat. They're going to come out and force back these Tommies in the west. So, looks like John beginning to get back into this game a little bit. What is it called? Is it company? It's not company command post. It is platoon command post. There we go. Platoon command post is finished, and we've got medkits popping up on these Tommies right now. You have to think. Let me just check the tech. I mean, based on this style of an opening, yeah, 5-man squad upgrade already finished here for Hans. So going for a pretty Tommy-focused infantry-heavy opener here. Pretty spicy. Going to be getting the value on the 5-man squad upgrade off of these Royal Engineers, which are his first choice out of that platoon command post. So an interesting build so far here from Hans, and nice to watch. You know, I'm always on the lookout for fresh builds, and I've got to say, when I play UKF, honestly, I favour Vickers openings, not Tommy's openings. Especially on a map that looks like this. So it's interesting to see the style of Hans here and going for a different build. Interesting to see, you know, exactly what units and in what order he chooses to go for here. Also interesting to see that it's been quite effective against this OKW player. Okay, admittedly, John didn't really micro those Kuba wagons particularly well, but still interesting to see. Anyway, here comes the Wehrmacht Schlepper moving out onto the field, so we're going to be able to see what the tech is going to be here for John momentarily. Kind of hoping it's going to be the mechanized command post. I'm not really a fan of the Battle Gripper HQ these days. I just don't really think it provides very good return on investment. But we'll see. We'll see. He is moving it further out onto the map, which sort of suggests. Well, it's hard to tell, to be honest, but it could well be the Battle Gripper HQ. Normally, if it's going to be that mechanized HQ, you just throw it down in the base like straight away, unless you've got nefarious plans to do something with it later. Uh-oh, Volksgrenadier in severe danger of cut down in a 3-way crossfire. Brutal. That is just tough times there. Oh my goodness me, this is spiraling out of control so rapidly for John. He is having a really tough time in this game. These are Royal Engineers getting a bit overeager, but no real focus fire coming down from the Axis units, and they are going to be able to escape pretty much scot-free. Storm Pioneers in the west, having pushed back that squad of Tommies, are actually chewing up a bit of ground, so only under a single cap now. Pardon me, as John. Trailing as he is by, what's this, like 68 tickets or something like that, 69? Wait, maths. 62 tickets. Anyway. There is kind of like a rule among casters that you don't try and do numbers on air. I am one to... Oh my goodness me, what? Okay, so he loses all of his frontline presence here, does John, and then he throws down the Mechanized Regiment HQ? This is so risky. I think he's going to get it up, but damn, that is risky stuff. Because bear in mind, of course, when this truck is deploying, it's like turbo vulnerable, so... Oof. Anyway, these Royal Engineers were indeed forced back by the Storm Pioneers, who continue to take up ground on the western flank. So at least one thing is going right for John. Oh, just as I say that, I think the Volksgrenadiers got shot down here in mid. And this game just going so badly for the Overcommand player here. Like, so badly. If he loses these Storm Pioneers to Royal Engineers, I mean... Oh no! John! John!
Converted into the headquarters building.
I mean... Whew. Well, ladies and gentlemen, far be it for me to call a game before it's run its course, but, you know... Oh my... I mean... Das Game! Hear that sound of silence? That's because one player doesn't even have enough units to be out on the map right now. Das Game! And I think he's given in. No, he's going to build a Rakettenwerfer. Oh, man. Well. I mean, I think that we can go ahead and pretty much call this game over. I reckon so. Or I reckon so, mate. I mean, John is literally doing nothing right now. What is his plan? He didn't even build a Panzer II. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and abort this cast. This is madness. I mean, he ought to have GG'd by now. I think he's just kind of like, ha ha ha, I'm going to be really annoying and stay in this game. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and call this one game. I'm going to jump in and cast another one. Hopefully, it'll be a little less one-sided. I've got to say, the last few games I've cast off of the ladder have been pretty rapid affairs. But, you know, that's why I like to cast games off the ladder. That's why... Because that's just like the state of the game as it is. It's just like, I like to reflect on the like most up-to-date, most present meta. And, you know, there's a certain charm to ladder games. You never know what you're going to find. And as a caster, I find that really exciting. So that's why I cast off the ladder more often than not. And that is why I'm going to continue doing so. I'm going to quit out of this game and just cast another one straight away. I'll probably upload it as part of the same video because, I mean, this has been 10 minutes of massacre from RoyalHants. So, well played, RoyalHants. Nicely done. And just stay tuned, guys. I'm just going to hop into another video and cast it straight away. I'll just staple it onto the end of this one. So, stay tuned. This for now is Magpie842 signing out, but about to hit you with another intro. And greetings, and okay, we'll try that one more time. Greetings, and a very warm welcome back to the channel again for the second part of this video, featuring. You know what? I have totally screwed up this intro, haven't I? Yeah. So this basically is another 1v1 live game straight from the top of the ladder. That's the thing I normally say. And then we've yes, player introductions comes next. Excellent. Yeah, spawning in the south, playing as the Wehrmacht pieces. It is going to be Harold, who was featured recently on the channel. So very much looking forward to seeing his prowess, seeing his tactical and strategic acumen displayed once again. And spawning in the north, having recently defeated John in the previous part of this video. It's going to be RoyalHants, who will be playing UKF once again. Now, it looks like he's actually going for the same opener, so that should be pretty exciting to see. I think previously it was, what, 4 squads, Tommies, then 5-man upgrades, something like that. And for Harold here, looks like we're going to be going for a reasonably early marksman. So good stuff here. Very much looking forward to seeing how the interplay here the interplay between these units works out here. I reckon, of course, Hans will have his work cut out trying to get to grips with the slippery Major. The Major. Yeah, getting mine arse out of here. They see me! Man, I love the German marksman. Okay, here he is. Do not trifle with me. He literally is Ed Harris from Enemy at the Gates. It makes me so happy whenever he's on the map. So anyway, Sniper is indeed reporting, gonna be here, gonna start taking some shots. Looks like, okay, no, I take it back. Looks like RoyalHants gonna be mixing the build up a little bit this time. I think he may have spotted the marksman, so he's gonna spice in a universal carrier here. And of course, I do quite like that choice. Marksman reveals himself with an ineffectual shot against some Tommies in the building. Tommies down here in the west also chewing up ground, grabbing both a fuel and ammunition point here. So RoyalHants doing a pretty good job of securing the resources he will need to bring him victory later in this game. Grenadier squad, the follow-up to that marksman. And, let's see, any sign of, okay, yeah, so platoon, no, sorry, that's the universal carrier. We're going to see platoon command post, or are we going to see 5-man squad upgrade? I'll leave the British HQ selected, so we can be updated in real time on the choice here from RoyalHants. Mixed scuffles going on around the map, but I have to say, actually, it appears that RoyalHants getting the upper hand in most of these engagements. 2 for wanting, or 2 against wanting most of his opponent's units. These pioneers need to GTFO. Let's hope that Harold is paying attention, and indeed he is. By the way, shout-outs to Harold, because I believe it is Harold who was actually watching the channel and posted in the comments after one of yesterday's casts. So that's super cool. Glad to have you aboard, Harold. Nice work. And, okay, here comes that universal carrier. Sniper going to set himself to hold fire, and just going to stand out of the way here. So Harold taking the actions required to ensure the survival of his most expensive unit right now. So, okay, yeah, so 5-man squad was indeed the choice here from Hans. That has now finished. So these Tommies going to be even more vicious now as we move forward. I imagine platoon command post will follow on momentarily, and then they'll have medkits and everything, and it's going to be really cool. A moment of quiet here as both players fanning out across the map trying to take resources and so forth. Universal carrier waiting in the wings, ready to respond should an engagement begin. And cementing his position over here in the west is Hans, going to be using these Tommies to just back up for a moment and take this point. He may fall them back after that to go and grab a 5th man. We'll see.
The new platoon command post is ready.
Vickers K going to be the upgrade of choice here on the universal carrier, so that's going to be a pretty lethal unit for all of these Axis units so far. Let's quickly check the tech here. So battle phase 1 underway, so we'll have access to that like the mechanized company shortly, and then Harold can take some decent anti-vehicle choices, you know. Here comes the sniper. Does get revealed here. And ineffectively firing again, only 1 kill so far on this marksman. I have to say, Hans doing a really good job of ameliorating the effects of having a marksman on the field. Normally, against UKF, and on a map like this, which is reasonably open with regards to sightlines, but with decent amounts of cover for a marksman, you know, it's not it's not totally strange to see a German marksman with, you know, 5, 6, 7 kills or something like that around about this stage. Maybe even more, depending on what kind of a game it's been. But no, that marksman still just the 1 kill on it. So that is actually really great news for RoyalHants, actually, to be honest. That's pretty awesome. Platoon command post is finished now for the British player. And let me see. No choice yet on the AEC or the Beaufort. I mean, does anyone actually go for Beaufort these days? I don't know. It's been a long time since I saw a human player go for a Beaufort. The AI just seems to love Beauforts, though. It's crazy. Anyway, we've got an engagement here in mid. The the Universal Carrier here doing its stuff. Looks like a 2-2-2 going to be the choice here out of Harold. I guess he feels like he really wants a counter for this unit, and the 2-2-2 does rather shut the door on the Universal Carrier. Rather hard. How much is this Vickers gun upgrade? Okay, it's 60 munitions, so a reasonably expensive loss for the British player, I suppose, because, I mean, once there's a 2-2-2 on the field, it becomes so hard for that Universal Carrier to stay alive. It is basically auto-killed. Anyway, Pioneers do have the plan on work for upgrade. They're going to get up on top of these Tommies, and that ought to be... Well, no, actually, I think the Tommies are going to take this fight here. They're just doing enough damage. Uh-oh, you're going to have to fall these units back here, Harold. Ooh, okay, that should be a safe fallback. Yeah, I can't see that this Pioneer squad's going to be lost. But Hans here putting up a fierce display of UK domination here. Look at the map. You know, he has the triple cap, he has double muni, or at least is about to. And it's not going to be too hard for him, perhaps. You have to think to grab this fuel point. And then Harold's going to be in an absolutely dire situation. Now, looks like Hans gone ahead and chosen the Special Weapons, is it? Special Weapons Regiment. Yep. Special Weapons Regiment going to be the choice. And we've got Tank Hunter boys on the field. Tank Hunter Tommies, mate. We're just a regular bunch of bleeding Cockney Tommies. Only we've got a boys AT rifle. You bloody Cockney barrel of monkeys. How ironic is it, though, by the way, that for a British person, I actually, like, my British accents are terrible. But anyway, I do give it a shot. So anyway, here come the anti-tank Tommies, and for those of you who've never seen this unit before, they're basically a regular unit of Tommies, but they do have an anti-vehicle grenade, pretty much the only infantry in the entire UKF roster to have one. They also detect on the mini-map enemy vehicles for a reasonably large radius, so they're actually a really useful unit. Sorry, they actually have 2 of the 50 cal sniper rifles as well, so I do actually really like them. This is probably my second favourite commander overall for the UKF. I mean, all of his abilities are pretty relevant and quite useful, so except for hold the line, I'm always a bit iffy about that. It costs a lot, and I'm never really sure what it's doing, like, in terms of actual in-game impact. I mean, it looks and sounds quite good, but... Anyway, looks like that marksman able to claim a few more British scalps here, up to 7 kills finally. 1 more will give him his first star of veterancy. But this game is looking a little bit dire for Harold right now, down at 416 under 496, and there's been quite the resource differential here in favour of RoyalHants. So let's just quickly check the tech here for the British player. I mean, no sign of the company command post, but he's actually not far off being able to afford that. He could actually go for that in, like, the next few seconds, and I'm not sure that he will. But, you know, that just tells you just how skewed the fuel income this game has been. I mean, we're at the 8-minute mark here. And, yeah. What are these? Are these telemines? No, these are M6 mines. God damn. So, Hans here. Just being active with all his units, just trying to glean maximum efficiency and maximum value out of every circumstance he finds himself in here. And I'm really impressed with the way he's been handling this game, just in terms of his micro, his unit choices, and the way he's clearly adapting his composition on the fly. Because this is essentially the same build that we saw last time, but he's adapting it in response to the fact that there's a German marksman on the field. He's now playing against Wehrmacht and not AKW, so it's quite nice to see the sort of organic decision-making process displayed in front of us here by RoyalHants. And yeah, I don't know, it's always good watching, always nice to watch a good player do his thing. And I think we're getting to see that here. I mean, Hans just looking in control, looking well composed, looking like he kind of has an answer for everything. And, I mean, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. This is still a very close game, still very much an alive game. But you have to feel like the pressure is really on Harold here, who's actually floating a lot of manpower. He could have additional units out here. You know, some Panzergrens would be just fine. A pack gun would also be tasty. Even a reinforcing half-track, if that is your poison. Looks like the 222 here finally going to find that universal carrier, but has to play it scarce. Man, I'll tell you what, these Tank Hunter Tommies are clearly taken to counterpick the 222. Kind of keeping this universal carrier alive here. It's like RoyalHants knows what he's doing. It's like he's got a plan and it's all coming together. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Another set of mines going to be deployed here. Additional Tommies now coming onto the field. So we're up to 5 total, consisting of 3 regular Tommies and 2 tank hunter Tommies.
Enemy causing trouble, trying to take
So
one of our
all looking
points.
quite spicy. 300 is the cost of the tank hunters. Sorry, it's been a while since I've actually used this commander, so just refreshing myself on that. And one of the nice things about this commander is you can call in a reinforcing half-track, not something that the UKF typically have access to, and something which I myself am very partial to. And of course it's a super sweet reinforcing half-track that can also throw down weapons for your squads. And Tommies with Vickers Ks are just kind of gross. They are pretty gross. And of course, you know, that way you don't have to research the weapon racks. Anyway,
Reinforcements are ready.
squad of Pioneers here in jeopardy. Looks like Harold is on top of it, gonna save that unit. The boys here, I think they must have connected with an AT vehicle grenade. Yeah, they have. So this 222 is gonna actually manage to limp away. I thought for sure that was gonna be destroyed, but it looks like Hans here playing it safe rather than sorry. Gonna fall those units back rather than wait for another anti-tank rifle round to come on out of that squad. Pioneers are in the hood. They're gonna repair the 222 here momentarily, and I mean, let me just crack the tack here, and you can just see, I mean, this is quite the British chokehold here that Harold finds himself under. 344 tickets now under 492, and it is all on him to get some work done. Patgun in a lovely position, though, capping a point, taking a shot here. Gonna force back the Universal Carrier on a pixel of health for now. So that might give Harold a little bit of breathing room here to get himself back on his feet. He desperately needs to grab a VP. These Grenadiers here transitioning into the east of the map are going to hopefully secure that for him. Very few British units nearby, so unlikely that RoyalHants is going to be able to stop that victory point changing hands. 222 going to roll on into town here. These Tommies immediately going to have to fall back. And there we go. And this 222, I mean, it is kind of testament to the level of play here that both of these players have been able to keep their light vehicles alive for quite a long time, despite there being appropriate counters present for both teams, so that's quite nice. As we roll up to the 12-minute mark here, this is probably already the best ladder game I've cast in the last sort of week or so, because all of the others have basically been over by about the 12-minute mark, it feels like. Anyway, Harold here going to be mixing in a GR34 mortar, and I do like the choice. That's really going to punish all of these infantry, especially with the 5-man squad upgrade. I do quite like that here. But he really just needs to break through and get some map presence. I mean, he's going to bleed out. And Hans just maintaining such fierce control over the munitions. And playing Wehrmacht when you've been choked on munitions is really hard time. So, okay, the Universal Carrier finally goes down to the 222. Only took, what, 6-7 minutes or something like that. Took quite a long time. MG42 getting into a nice position here, going to cover mid, but there is no line of sight, so it can't actually hit these Tommies just now.
They still have 300 points remaining.
Let's quickly check the tech here for the Axis player. No sign of Battle Phase 2 yet. Oh, that's a rifle grenade, but nicely dodged by Hans here. Good awareness. Going to pop his Tommies on out of that building. 2 squads of Grenadiers here ought to be able to take the fight to these Tommies. Uh-oh, this is turbo awkward. Oh, this is how you lose a German marksman. That should be a kill there. Oh, dearie me. Just a moment of inattention there. That's going to feed the most expensive unit on the Axis roster into a unit of Welshmen, and that is a terrible shame there for Harold. And that is actually just the first mistake of this game. Let's hope that that's not going to be the decider here. That would be a shame if that decides the outcome of this game. But that's always disheartening when you lose your marksman under circumstances like that, as any race, really. And Hans here, just looking so composed. Unit of Pioneers manages to find a gap here. They are going to push through and take a VP in mid, buying Harold much needed time. This MG42 gets set up, but I mean, there are already Tommies in its blind spot. So it's going to have to probably GTFO. No, going to try and reposition. That is so risky. These Tommies have got Bren guns, man. That actually means that weapon rack research was done here. Oh my goodness me. That's a Centaur. Wow. I actually didn't see this on the build queue, so you'll have to forgive my surprise there. Oof. I mean a Centaur. So, okay, the cool thing about Centaur for RoyalHants is if you look at the top left, the Centaur massacres all these units. Oh no, and the Marksman was rebuilt as well. Uh-oh. So what are you going to do about this Centaur then? What's the play? I mean, the pack gun reveals itself here. Going to take a shot. Was that a Faust? Damaged engine comes through. Pack gun could do an attack ground round here and try and get an additional hit onto this Centaur. Actually going to riskily stalk forwards here. These Tommies do have Bren guns, so the pack gun probably going to be forfeit here. You have to think, nope, nope, nope. Looks like Harold going to sensibly think better of this. Pull it back. If he loses that pack gun, it's basically game. How much manpower does he have? Not enough for another pack gun. I feel like he needs more AT in a hurry, and I'm sure he knows it. Marksman here going to come forward. Oh no, immediately forced back. Hardly being very efficient at all as Marksman. Luckily for Harold, or at least one thing going his way, he has managed to capture this VP, but this game is just looking so dire. Oh my goodness me. Look at these armies. Look at the top left and look at the top right and tell me whose army you'd rather have, because it seems quite obvious to me. Hants. RoyalHants. That sounds quite British. Hants, buddy. Are you British? If you ever check the channel, buddy, if you could just post in the comments. It would be sweet if you were British, because I see you playing a lot of UKF, and it would be nice to have a British player to cheer for out there. Or if anybody knows Hants or knows if he's British, that would be really cool to know, actually. I'm assuming a lot, based on the fact that he has Royal in his screen name and he's playing as UKF. I'm like, yeah, this guy could be British. I mean, you know, he could also be like, I don't know, South African or Brazilian or Australian. I mean, there really is. He could be anything. It's quite a stretch for me to guess that he's British based on that alone. But anyway. Look at how compacted the map position is here for Harold. All of his units are basically within a screen's breadth of his base. Hants here just applying pressure from every angle, pushing through with Tommies from every side. 5-man squads of Tommies with 80 Tommy support. The Centaur now fully repaired. And a squad wipe comes through here off of a sweet rifle grenade from these Grenadiers. So finally striking back is Harold, able to draw blood, but the Centaur pushes through, takes out the 2-2-2. Pack gun is present and correct, though. Does force back the merciless British AA tank. And actually getting some more hits on it. So Hant's going to have to back that one up. Not known for its speed as the Centaur, so going to have to kind of sluggishly sort of lurch on out of there. Going to get repaired and be back here in no time, of course. 5-man squads of Royal Engineers, especially with the 2-star. I think it's at 2-star they get the repair speed upgrade. Yeah. So, you know, that Centaur will be back on the front line in nearly no time. But there is going to be a brief window here for Harold to try and get something done. But I mean, all of his units pretty much are like on this screen here. You know, that is his everything, and it is all in this much of map. So, you know, he's under a triple cap. He's still under double muni. I don't think Harold has been able to hold a munitions point even once. He's going to go ahead and pick a commander. It's the the assault support doctrine here. So maybe his plan is the lesser-known Opal Blitz rush, where you try and run over your opponent's units with an Opal Blitz? I don't know. That's not a real tactic. Don't try and do that. This GR34 has been pretty good though, actually. Up to 7 kills, 2 stars of that. Haven't been keeping my eye on that. It's the first time I've checked in with it. But yeah, that's doing reasonably. Here comes the Centaur though. Actually not fully repaired. Touch awkward. And using smoke here is Harold. Very nice to see. Unfortunately, these Grenadiers just slightly out of where the smoke is. There we go. And I believe this Centaur may well be attacking ground. Oh, this is so nice to see the use of smoke, but I mean, there's just so much fire for the UKF here. But he is able to decap mid, so it wasn't for nothing. Rifle grenade going to come... Oh, I thought I saw a rifle grenade animation starting there, but gets forced back in the end. MG42 under British hands here. Going to be doing terrible things to these Grenadiers. Here comes the Centaur pushing forward once more. Gets up on top of the pack gun, giving it a heavy volley of anti-air shells here. Going to focus down these Grenadiers now. Faust comes through, actually, leaving the Centaur quite wounded. Pack gun, sadly, is decrewed. Are there any Pioneers nearby who can jump off on top of that? No, in fact, there are no Pioneers left alive right now. Marksman here hanging out in the open. Going to have to GTFO. The boys from Wales here probably want to grab this pack gun, maybe. I mean, if he can get this pack gun away, that's basically game. Nope, he's going to fall back. He's going to call in an artillery strike instead, so that's going to be the concentrated fire operation. Grenadiers kind of thinking about going for it, but then he sees the smoke, and there's a really good chance. These are the super heavy shells, and all it will take is a slightly more accurate shell than that, to be honest. But yeah, it doesn't take much to destroy this pack gun when you're firing in shells this heavy. And Harold here, I mean, credit where credit's due. He's putting up as best of a fight as he can. As he can. You know, he's actually going to grab a muni point here, and to be fair to Harold, he's done a really good job of at least keeping this fuel point online for himself. Wow! Oh! I mean, he recrewed the pack gun, and then instantly the crew gets re-gibbed. That's so harsh. Harold knows he needs this pack gun to stay in this game. He could build another, though. Again, he's floating like 600 manpower, actually, and a ton of fuel. Oh, he's waiting for Tiger. Right. Okay, fair enough. I mean, he's got 100 tickets. 100 tickets, a Tiger, and a Dream. Oh no, but he just reinforced the squad! No! Oh, he literally, the tiger button was illuminated for a second there. Oh man.
The ability is
I think if your plan is the tiger, you need to call it in. You can't wait for it, not when you're this far behind. 96 under 469, about to be under a triple cap again, and Harold knows it. He has been pushed out of this game by RoyalHants. What a dominating display here from our UKF player. Oh my goodness, Hans just dominating the ladder today. I mean, it's great to see, because I've got to say, I feel like UKF, since the last balance patch, or over the series of the last couple of balance patches, have pretty much become the least good of the allied factions. I mean, I might be miles off on that. I've not been casting or keeping tabs on the meta as much as I usually do, so I could be miles off on that, but it just feels like the UKF kind of just aren't quite as good as the American forces with the changes to the Jackson and things like that recently. Not quite as good as the Soviet forces with their sort of multitude of viable units and interesting openers and things that you can do. So I just feel like the UKF, I mean, they're not a bad faction by any means, you know, they're not OKW, lol, am I right? But seriously, they're not, like, you know, they're not unplayable or anything. I just feel like they're probably, like, the least good of the allied factions, but still probably my favourite to play. And it's really nice to see RoyalHants out here dominating at the top of the ladder, just making them look super strong. I'm going to have to experiment with this opener, so... You know, he goes like quad Tommies into 5-man squad upgrade into platoon command post into Royal NGs, unless he's up against Wehrmacht and they go for a marksman, in which case it's 3 squad Tommies into universal carrier into 5-man squad upgrade, into what did he go after? Oh yeah, and then when the counter was the 222, he immediately went for special weapons regiment. So just really tight builds. Like you can see how each of those decisions makes a ton of sense and leverages the battlefield situation into RoyalHants' favor. You know, like that was just a really beautiful display of organic decision making that was like each step of the way just totally correct and like just gave him so much value on the battlefield, which was just really nice to see. That's the kind of Company of Heroes 2 that we all want to be playing. So yeah, Hans here putting on quite the display. Thanks very much to Harold, of course. A good game put on by him, but god damn, you know, I mean, congratulations to him for lasting like nearly 20 minutes. I think I would have perished just a lot earlier. So yeah, shout outs to Harold for a good show, a good effort here. You know, that was a close game. That was a close game for like most of it. You know, it was just on the scales, it was on the balance, but just in Hans' favor, just in Hans' favor pretty much the whole time. So yay! Thanks very much to our 2 players. Thanks very much to all of you out there for watching. I'm still trying to source some Steel Division 44 replays, and I'm still trying to be honest, like I don't know, find some other kind of RTS groove to get into because I love Company of Heroes 2, but it is a little bit old, and it is kind of all I'm casting at the moment. So I just feel like I'm ready for like I don't know, some kind of other RTS to be casting. So anyway, yeah, I'll keep working on that. And this for now is Magpie 842 signing out.